Food can be about comfort, craft, or even culture. But in Brigid Washington's new memoir, it's about survival. Her book traces her unlikely journey into the culinary world, one marked by loss, uncertainty, and questions of identity. Geoff Bennett recently spoke with Washington about that book, Salt, Sweat, and Steam. It's part of our Arts and Culture series, Canvas.
Brigid Washington, welcome to the News Hour.
Thank you for having me.
This memoir, it starts with this high-stakes cooking exam, a real trial by fire. Why start there? What did that moment reveal about who you were becoming?
I started there because it really honed in on why I was there. And at the time, it was a bad breakup and a leap first, look second decision to attend the nation's top culinary school. And I didn't recognize myself. Like many other young people in my 20s, I felt adrift professionally, and food has always been my anchor and also held me accountable. And so I decided this would be a good decision to pursue something that I've loved for a very long time professionally, until I actually had to be there.
Well, right, you said in the book that the decision to go to culinary school, it followed right after a breakup, and you wrote, "The only way to take myself out of this emotional fire was to walk directly into a physical one." What did the kitchen offer you that your life in that moment could not?
That's a good question, because the kitchen has always been that safe space. As a child growing up in Trinidad, cooking at my mother's side, helping her pick herbs outside, cilantro, culantro, Spanish thyme. That was always my second language. And I was looking for more of what felt natural, what felt like me, even though it was, like I said, a fire.
Well, you write that it's not enough for something to taste good. It also must reflect discipline, integrity. How did you learn that? How hard is that to internalize as a chef?
I learned that the hard way, because naturally I am freewheeling and messy and not given to rules. Don't let the blazer fool you. And so being in the kitchen, and especially being at the CIA with its strictures and its rules and regulations and brigade system and exacting standards for excellence, that is what I needed most. And I think that is also what most good cooks understand, is that there is room for both the creativity and the constraints. They have the space to breathe when you're cooking.
You refer to yourself as an accidental chef.
Absolutely.
What about it felt accidental, and when did it start to feel inevitable for you?
I think the genesis was accidental. At the time, I had a job that I did not enjoy, an office job. And I remember just walking into a professional kitchen that I've never eaten in, a white tablecloth establishment in Raleigh. And I said, I don't know anything about cooking. I don't know anything about food. But I am a hard and happy worker, and I'll work for free. Teach me how to do this. And that was the beginning. And
work for free? I
said, yeah, I'll volunteer. And after my 9 to 5, I went to that kitchen. And they said, just stand and do not touch. And I said, when will I get to? They're like, never. and that was the accidental part, because I didn't think anything would come from that. And I think it started to feel inevitable when I started to appreciate the discipline and what I was really, the lessons behind the lessons that cooking taught me.
There's something else in the book that you wrote about that really struck me, and it was holding on to your accent. And you write that a country gives you an accent, but it is courage that allows you to keep it. In a kitchen, a place with its own, as you said, hard codes of authority, what did it mean to walk in as a proud Trinidadian woman and refuse to flatten that?
Well, it has gotten flattened.
In what ways?
Well, I mean, my mother would say that, like how I talk.
Your accent has been flattened.
Yes, my accent has been flattened. I would say something, and she'd I could hear her thinking over the phone. That's not the way that's pronounced. But I think that it was important for me to always be tethered to home. That is the core anchor. And how that presents is by having and keeping an accent and paying attention to when it is slowly dissipating.
You have been very candid about being afraid not just of failure, but of success. What did success represent to you throughout your journey, and why was it so unsettling early on?
Well, at the time, I didn't even know what success meant. I didn't know how to quantify it. It was, I know what I didn't want. I wanted a relationally rich life. And I didn't want a life where success is having a thriving restaurant and that's grossing 8 figures, but no one to share that with. So success for me now, it means being able to cook dinner for my family every night, teaching my children, these are the foods that's important. This is why. Here is why I am telling you this, even though they're kind of rolling their eyes at me. And those moments are formative, and that's what I was always angling towards.
Does it still feel accidental, or do you claim the title of chef now?
Honestly, it still feels a little accidental. It does.
Well, the memoir is terrific. Salt, Sweat, and Steam, the fiery education of an accidental chef. Brigid Washington, a real pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Geoff. Thank you for having me.
Support journalism you trust. Support PBS News. Donate now, or even better, start a monthly contribution today.